Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. So there's still a lot of talk. This issue of Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf is still a toxic, trending issue in the United States. This is a tragedy between two young men, but so much is being said, and everybody's talking, and conflicting tales are being told about these young men and what happened. One of the things being said is that one of them was suspended from school and wasn't even supposed to be at that track meet. Now, I want somebody who knows to tell me which one of these young men was suspended from school, because people keep coming into my comment section telling me that Carmelo Anthony was suspended from school. Overwhelmingly, they're saying that Carmelo Anthony was suspended from school and was not supposed to be there. Then there are others who are coming in, not as many, saying no, it was Austin Metcalf that was suspended from school. Now, I want to know which one, if either one of these young men was suspended from school, because somebody needs to stop lying. If you don't know, you don't know. And then there are people who are coming on here getting upset with me because I'm giving my opinion. I state in every video that I do about this that I wasn't there and I don't know. But as long as other people are talking about this, I'm going to talk about it too. If you don't want to know what I have to say about it, don't click onto my video. Now, I'm going to repeat this, and I'm going to repeat this every time I do a video on this. This was a tragedy. I am sorry about what happened between these two young men. I am sorry that this family lost their son. I am very sorry about that. But as a Black American woman, I have seen Black men, young and not so young, shot down in America for who knows what. We have seen Black men running away from danger, trying to save their lives and getting shot in the back. We have seen Black teenagers minding their business or just being kids being shot and killed. And people justify it. Well, they were doing something. Trayvon Martin was the one that was one of the most heartbreaking for many Black Americans. A 17-year-old walking home, bothering nobody. He was stalked and murdered. And then the man claimed he was afraid for his life. Lost his life for nothing. Wasn't even bothering anybody. He was forced into an altercation with a stranger with a gun and ended up losing his life at night. Somebody he didn't even know. He didn't even know why he was involved in the fight. And then his mother posted a picture of him as a young boy, I think a baseball player, and people got mad because, oh, they're trying to show he was a little kid. He was 17 years old, just like he was a grown man and a hardened criminal. This is what Black people have to go through when something happens to us. We don't get any dignity. Our kids are made into monsters. They can be 10 or they can be 12 or they can be 17. They get turned into monsters. And if we dare to say anything, well, we're playing the victim or we're trying to make excuses. They ought to follow the law. They ought to comply. That's what we get. And all I'm saying is let the case go to court, let him have his day in court, and let the chips fall where they fall on the facts of what actually happened. And back to Trayvon Martin, his family didn't even know what had happened to him until a day or two later. He was laid up in the morgue, and the police hadn't even notified them or even tried to get in touch with them about what had happened to their child. They love their child too. And people still could justify letting the killer get off. And we see that in Black America all the time. But somehow, when something happens to somebody else, then they're supposed to be tried, convicted, and sent off to capital punishment without even having a trial. And I'm saying we need to have the trial. I don't need you to tell me on social media what happened. I need to know in a court of law what happened. I want him to have his rights respected as an American citizen to come into the courtroom and tell what happened. And I don't believe that I'm wrong. I know that I was hurt by what happened to Trayvon Martin, and so was the rest of Black America. I was hurt by what happened to Mike Brown, so was a lot of the rest of Black America. I was hurt by what happened to Jordan Davis, and so were a lot of other Black people. And I could go on and on and on, but I never went on anybody's social media platform to say like I knew what happened or I knew what should happen. I never went on anybody's page to say anything about what they said about the case. I never did. And I don't do that. I don't go I haven't even with this case. If somebody believes that Karmelo Anthony is a cold-blooded killer and he ought to do this and this ought to happen to him and that ought to happen to him, I don't go on their page and argue with them because they have a right to their opinion. So if you think that I shouldn't have the right to my opinion, then you are the one that's wrong. And in my last video, the main thing I said was, why couldn't he have gone under that tent if it was raining or whether it was raining or not? These are two high schools in the same city. Kids know each other from each school. He could have had a friend under that tent. Why couldn't he go under that tent and have a seat without somebody telling him he was in the wrong tent? So, yes, I stand by that. And I am willing for it to come out in court, whatever happened. What I'm not going to do is keep my opinion to myself, where everybody that wants to persecute this kid does it. When they protect their people, when they go out there and do stuff to Black people. So don't come to me trying to lecture me because it's not going to work. Now, back to the question at hand. Which one was suspended from school? I would like to know. There's another thing that came up about maybe Carmelo Anthony went into the memorial tent because he went to see a white girl. Well, that goes back to my point. Maybe he had a friend under that tent, and if a white girl was under that tent that he came to see, and she felt in some way that he was harassing her or bothering her, guess what? Girls know what the proper procedure is when something happens in school like that. If he was a bothersome to her, she knew to go to the officials. Kids don't go to other kids to discipline a kid. They know better than to do that. They know that there is no time that a kid ought to put himself in a position of authority to discipline another kid. So let's just say he did go to the tent to see a white girl. Chances are they were friends, and she may not have had a problem with him being there. But then somebody else might have had a problem with him being there, and then he's going to take it upon himself to do the discipline. That's where the problem comes in. No, I'm not saying that's what happened, but that keeps coming up. Something about a girl or some girls. And so girls like boys, they like to flirt with boys, boys like to flirt with girls. It's entirely possible that it was a girl or some girls involved. Because, that's what high school kids do. They flirt around and play around with each other. And there's nothing unusual about that. Now, I don't know what happened. Everybody else is speculating, so I'm speculating too. So don't come to me telling me I'm biased or I'm making excuses. I'm doing what I do. If you don't like it, click off and move on. Now, I want to know what happened. I want to know all about I want to know about all of it, and I'm willing for it to come out in court. But what you're not going to do is come here and gaslight me or bully me into saying what you want said, because we have seen Black children be put on trial for getting killed. And people will get right on this internet and they will just run that person down. They'll go back into all their background, everything to do with their family, and drag the whole family through the dirt because somebody got killed. So miss me with your gaslighting because it's not going to work with me. Okay, y'all, thank you for listening. Let me know what you think about the video. Give me a thumbs up and have a great evening.